and there has to be an acidic breakdown.
Driver, a driver. I am an entrepreneur, artist, rapper, entertainer in the area, and I do a lot of work in the area. Right as of right now, we're in my clothing store, made in Norfolk apparel, so I'm a business owner also.
My name is Jasmine Moore.
My name is Zeke. My name is BIGGZ.
My name is Mark P.
My name is JAYLYN Brown.
I'm Naya.
My name is BERTRAND.
I'm AHMAD Davis.
I'm Rod from the Traptastic.
My name is ESSENSE Martin.
I'm Todzilla.
It's the Nightly Dose.
My name is Monet.
I'm Eric.
Hey y'all, it's your girl, Bad Guy King.
It's your boy Jen.
Christopher Harrison.
I'm Izzy the DJ.
My name is JETSKI.
Hefe from the Wave TV.
My name is Amber HURLEY.
Because of coronavirus concerns.
A lot of prayer, just staying humble, staying inside, building my immunity, just being conscious and having meaningful conversations with people.
Number one mission is just to have X amount of hustles, you know what I'm saying? I think it was a very pivotal point for millennials and the generation under us.
If you can survive it, like, cool, more power to you. But it's about how you survive it too. You know, you don't know if you're carrying it, you know what I'm saying? And you don't, even though you don't have any symptoms, you might pass it along to somebody else. That's something that I ain't trying to necessarily like live with.
I'm more so planning for the future and innovating the things that I already had going on. So when it is, you know, safe for everyone to congregate and enjoy one another's presence and do the things that we once did in a different way, because there's no going back, you know, we got a new normal. But when it is time for that, I'll be prepared to do me again.
This morning, Governor Ralph Northam will give updates and talk about ongoing state efforts to respond to the disease.
It comes as more people in the Commonwealth test positive, including people here in Hampton Roads.
Up until COVID, I was working full time. And then when COVID happened, they told us that they had to close the dentist office I was working at. So I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? So instead of me like filing for unemployment or anything like that, I was like, I'm gonna just give my business 100%. So, you know, change my hours on my website and then just start booming.
I was doing events where that like fell off. We picked up with the clothes and stuff like that. And we've been doing, you know, some good numbers and stuff on everything that we're doing with that. But, you know, if we had them both together, we'd be doing real good. But it's still fine, you know, because it's like, you know, the business is still good, it's still thriving.
Just, you know, we just had to switch up the flow, man. Like, you know, we still had to make things shake. We went a little virtual with it. You know, I was able to tap into that heavy and pretty much just turn Instagram and Facebook and social media, you know, to my breeding grounds, you know. So instead of being in a club 5-6 times a week or I was on a plane and traveling to other venues and stuff, I ended up turning my social media into different venues.
As far as the nightlife, I was definitely affected immediately. You know, I had 2 events that were lined up. I had a JAYLYN concert and a Money Bag Yo concert. Those were both canceled. I was fortunate enough when we opened back up in June to go ahead and continue with the JAYLYN concert, which was an extreme success.
She says despite everything, her faith and her hope remains strong.
So the pandemic has forced me to adjust in a major way. Events is a large part of what I do, and creating that person-to-person connection is very important, and it seems like that's just been completely taken away from us.
We don't have the large parties anymore. We book our reservation, you know, set apart, so we don't have 50 people on the beach at one time. We just kind of spread everything apart. Makes it healthy and clean for everyone. So, or it's all perfect.
It ain't changed too much for me personally, but I know it's f***ed up other people for sure. And for me, I'm a lucky one, I guess. I've been able to take some steps forward with shit I done planned out. I done had time. That's what it really did for me. It gave me time to do some that if shit was regular, I probably wouldn't take as much time out to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I've been able to spend more time on the things I actually like doing, like the Wave TV.
Right now with COVID going on, we've been able to use a lot of time to develop young Shan, who's from Hampton coincidentally and now lives in Atlanta. So we've been able to kind of just help breed like a lot of creativity with her, working on a lot of things, putting a lot more time into stuff and not feeling rushed based on like tour dates or things like that. We've just been able to kind of really kind of hone in on what's important and what's her sound and kind of build from there.
Predict disaster for the region's most vulnerable.
People of all different shades marched for about 24 blocks.
I mean, the first emotion that comes to mind is literally just pure rage, like outrage. Like, for people to have the audacity to question what's happening in our country right now, right? It's not up for debate. There is an extreme need for change. Systematic racism is knowing that there's not one person who is responsible right now for the racism that we all have to deal with as Black people. It's a system that was created to keep us down. And so we have to change at the core. And so a big part of that is knowing that we have policies and legislation that do not reflect people of color. They do not represent people of color at all. And that has to change. How do we do that? By making sure that we have people of color in positions of power.
So dealing with the national unrest and social unrest, racial divide in 2020 has been completely draining. Definitely eye-opening and needed for a lot of individuals. I think a lot of the conversations that we are comfortable having now are crucial, but it's also been a very draining process as a Black woman, as a Black business owner, as someone who works with a lot of Black men. It's incredibly damaging, and who's going to take accountability? I know for me, it was really very important, especially after George Floyd, to reach out and kind of figure out what can I do to make sure that this doesn't happen in my own community. And I did. I know that a lot of people feel inclined to protest in different ways, but for me, it was definitely about reaching out to my local police department, as well as sheriff's department and other first responders, anybody that's in a position of power, to make sure that we're having these uncomfortable conversations and just making sure that this doesn't happen again.
Every time that there's an incident, it galvanizes the people. We all come, whether it's, New Orleans, whether it's Haiti, the relief. I mean, it's something that goes on, but it's always momentarily for that section and that second, that period of time. And then it all falls to the wayside. We have to make sure that we continue to keep it going.
Keep that momentum.
Right, because it takes, unfortunately, the depth of something to break down for us to actually build up. So that's where that acid, that alkaline breakdown will always, kind of come from, is that your body naturally produces acidity, and it has to. That's the only thing that's going to put you back into the earth, which you came out of, the acid breakdown. But for plants and life to continue to thrive, it needs that acid breakdown for the nutrients to actually be replenished back into the environment, to actually grow and make it better. Mm-hmm. So as we're moving through this universe and moving and growing, it has to be a breakdown of that old system. And I think that these things, even the president being in office, had to happen for us to realize what it is that we need to take place to move ourselves to that next level.
This we want to change, this we want to do, this. And I think when, as the African American community, we're at a point, let's start getting a list together of what exactly we want, you know what I'm saying? Because we can ride and we can tear it up all day, you know what I'm saying? That's the language that they forced us to use. But now when the conversation's on the table, what do we want? We got to answer that question, and we can't say,
It's a long time coming, man. As a black business owner of multiple businesses, I love to see it. Like I've always pushed for people to start businesses. I push for, anybody, but especially our people, and there's no shade to any other races or whatnot, but I mean, I'm black. So it's like, I feel like I have an obligation off rip to my people.
Oh, it's bro, you lock your fathers up for years and years. You
don't got nobody to look to, and then you going back into the same cycle.
And it's just like, it's no recreational programs, it's no sports. Like, what the fuck is all this money, like, parked up trillions of dollars for give everybody $1,200?
It's really tiring. Because it's like, it's time after time. We have young kids and stuff. And like, for us to be seeing this on the media, it's like, yeah, we need to be aware. But that stuff is really tiring on your mental and just on your heart in general. Because this could be any one of us.
It's sad you got to tell your little brothers and sisters about being careful. And they're probably like, what, 10, 11, 12.
We need to empower each other. Literally, like, if we stop supporting a lot of these businesses that don't support us, that will give us so much power in the community. Ways that I think that we should do to get better would be our money. It is strictly money. Money runs the world. So cut off where you spend, be particular in where you spend, our black brothers or black sisters, or even other establishments that respect us as individuals, want us working there and want us shopping there. Our dollar means so much. And we're the biggest consumers in the United States of America. So that says so much. They can make it seem small, but our dollar means so much to the economy of the United States of America.
I see it still going up. Like I said, it's all about your craft and what your business got going on. I know a lot of people are losing, and I feel bad for them. But at the same time, you have to market yourself, and you have to change with the times. So like I said, if you're not on the internet now, you need to get on the internet. Marketing is everything. If you're doing stuff old school, you might need to try some new people to help you out. So it's like, you have to change for the game. And, it's sad that the pandemic is going on. It's sad that people are losing. But at the same time, at the end of the day, stuff's going to happen all day long, So you have to change. You have to grow with the times. You have to better your business and better yourself to, continue to grow.
You got to get popping out here. That's what I think. I hope that this pandemic gives everybody, I hope once we get out of it, everybody has, a push. Like, everybody will start to kind of see, the fruits of their labor. We've been working hard, you know what I'm saying? Trying to really get Virginia on the creative scene, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's going to pop when the summer comes.
I'm thinking that it's going to be, a nice little push for everybody.
But I guarantee you, look, watch, Virginia's going to be one of the main cities on the East Coast. We already got New York, Miami, Atlanta.
A Netflix?
Yeah, it's so crazy. The homie is up there, too. He on the show. Gerald. I get him and the other G mixed up, but Sincere, he's on the show. And he's gonna go crazy up there. Shout out to my homeboy John for getting on the I think it's The Voice as well. I think that's the show called. But yeah, it's a lot of people, and it's so amazing because you get to see the growth really fulfill. The seeds really being planted and then growing up and being rooted.
We're already been great, but now the magnifying glass is on us a little bit more now. Yeah. And I hope this gives people inspiration.
Yeah. What us as a black and brown community need to do as a whole. How everywhere you look up now is vote every 4 years, but what really makes the change is the voting every 2 years, because that controls your community.
Yeah. From the lower levels.
Your laws, your mayors, your judges, your sheriffs, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how you rebuild your own, but they don't never promote that.
I do feel like we have hope and potential to be just as big as any other market as far as LA, Atlanta, Chicago, New York. But again, it's a matter of us coming together as one. I feel as if in Virginia, we have it's very divided. you have your who's, but again, no one is really taking leadership and actually saying, hey y'all, let's do it this way. So as far as Virginia go, you have people like yourself who's creating different platforms to pretty much have everybody on one platform. So when I market it or I promote it, it's you being promoted and everybody else on this documentary. But at the same time, if we don't come together, there's no way that we'll be just in square one. And we have some we have a wealth of talent in Virginia.
All people do is need, people don't know how to market themselves. Like, some people, they got the good art, they got the good music, but they don't know how to market themselves. They don't know how to, really carry themselves like they somebody. They just, content with being local. And I think people, need to think more, outer state, more global. I think the money, though, you put that into I ain't saying put it into your outfit. People spending money on them big ass Balenciagas and stuff like that. I think you should put the money into marketing, put the money into travel, and put the money into pay for that repost that's gonna get you more, gain more exposure.
I think only amazing things can come from it. Virginia, we've always produced amazing music, amazing art, the culture, the scene. We've always had that, but I feel like now, if anything, it's just gonna be so much more turned up than it ever was before. So I'm excited to see what people have been working on. I understand it's everyone has to be more creative and think critically about how they're gonna get their idea out, because I throw events, or I was throwing events for a long time with my events company, Virgin Grooves. And, if you're involved in throwing events right now and that's your thing, you can't but have so many people together. So what ways can you still make your vision happen? It can definitely still happen, and everybody's been affected in that way. It's just not easy. So I think if anything, there'll be more powerful products and art and ideas, because it's you can't take the easy way out and be lazy about how you want to put out your vision. It's you got to be thoughtful about it. It's got to make sense. And if you don't really love it and want it to happen, it's not going to happen.
Different people starting to open different businesses in the area, and it's cool, because what it does is it drives that entrepreneur aspect of that gives us a different dynamic to teach our kids, because a lot of times we only know go to school, go to work, or go to work. Now you have all these new entrepreneurs. It's creating a new idea, that you can actually do it. And that's something that we can keep moving forward to our next generation. So I'm with it. I'm in favor of all the new creators. Keep pushing the envelope. There's truly enough money out here for everybody. So, if you got an idea, go for it.
Definitely, like I always say, elevate it, because that's the nature of the grind we've been putting out here. A lot of people, every generation I've seen come up out here, has just been getting better and better and better, more well-known, more diverse, more business savvy. So I see post-pandemic, definitely, a lot of artists are hungrier now. A lot of people quit because they knew they found out that their hunger didn't lie in music. So it's a lot of people transitioning their lives into other things. And then there's a lot of people coming through the door of music. So just as many people that's leaving, they coming and going. And you just got to make sure to keep up with everybody and teaching them the game, so that way when they get in the game, they're not throwing the business off and then they don't end up messing themselves over.
I deal a lot with music, and I've been seeing some good stuff coming out in these last few weeks and stuff like that. It looked like people was locking in, Everybody got less to do. Everybody got less ways to fill time. And it's just they getting the focus and get the pens going, get the minds working and stuff like that. People coming up with good ideas. All my people that I see that paint and stuff like that, they dropping a lot of art. All my people that make clothes, they making new stuff. all the guys that's, making music, they're making some music. It's like everything is coming together. It's like it gave people like a chance to pause. The people that could pause and the people that could like afford to pause and just focus, and they wasn't like, stressed out or hurt about it, like, from jobs or other outside things. Like if you were still comfortable, you'll be able to, do your thing, like, and, turn it into something. It's a lot of people messing with stocks now, you seeing, and a lot of people reading books and stuff like that. Like, it's not so bad to stay home.
I'm big on innovation, so I don't really want to switch up what I'm doing. I had a conversation from someone that's in the industry about that, and it was kind of like speaking life to me. Like, everybody's trying to go digital because that's kind of all you can really do. But my experiences, you have to feel them, you have to be there. That's what my events have always been since I've been doing them. I can't produce that same feeling and vibe and all of that digitally, and I really don't want to, So I'm really in the future right now and just waiting to see what that looks like so I can keep chiseling at what I'm planning on doing,
I've always been somebody who had to work digitally regardless, but a lot of my work as a publicist was meeting people, being around people, concerts, shows, mixers, and things of that nature. So a lot of that is just digital now. So platforms like Clubhouse, instead of those 60 people that you would have been sitting in a room and talking to one by one, you can now just sit in a digital panel, Zoom calls. I've gotten a lot of Zoom fatigue. I'm kind of tired of it, but at the end of the day, if you want to be safe, that's what you have to do.
I think Virginia is very slept on. Like, it's so much talent here. Like, when I hear people say like Virginia is boring and stuff like that, I feel like you're not like using Virginia to your potential, because it's so much to do. We just don't do it. It's so many places out here to eat that we just don't go to, or maybe they don't get enough exposure for people to know about it. But it's a lot to do here. I feel like it's a lot of opportunity here, but I feel like people here, it's not like Atlanta where like everybody kind of like come together. I feel like in Virginia, you might kind of be on your own. It's up to you to get your brand where you want it to go. It's not like a group effort really here. So I don't know, that might be the difference between here and other places. But I think Virginia is dope.
Everything is on your phone, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to the Wave TV, because that's the hobby that I take out time to do the most, it's just, I can't goddamn talk to you face to face. We can't really shoot no videos. People love, like before the pandemic shit, that's what was killing the streets, is the virtual, well, I mean, it's still virtual, but the live maybe, I don't know if I want to call it the live, but just being able to know that they was really next to each other, you know what I'm saying, doing it, that was killing. Everybody was loving videos, media, but I mean, I guess the virtual shit is working just as good. It's making me use social media even more than I already did. And for real, that's what you kind of need to do to be taking off in this shit. You gotta be hands-on with your social media.
I think it's going to like splash like even harder for real, but like it's going to be a bigger splash because so many people are like itching to like do something, be a part of something. Like, I definitely believe that the rebound is going to be like tremendous. But it's just about the timing, you know what I'm saying, and making sure that it's safe, people feel comfortable with physically being a part of that.
As things progress, you always have to adapt with them. You do have to stay current with the times. What I think works in our favor is that Made in Norfolk is kind of like a staple space as of now. It's becoming more of an attraction for the area, not just a regular brick and mortar. It's a lot of pride associated to coming in store. So for that, I do think we will still be able to maintain, but as things change, I do see, from just the overhead space, the online being the way to go. Because it takes a lot to run a store, you know what I mean? I've done retail for 10 years, but being in the space where I am completely responsible for everything, it takes a lot. So I encourage people to do it if you can, but just know that it's a lot different.